Hey everyone, this is Kevin T. Rodriguez, film critic of iCritic.net and shareholder in Helios and Matheson. Now, there has been a lot to talk about with MoviePass, and there will most likely be a lot more to talk about MoviePass. Heck, there might even be some breaking news as this video goes up, filming it in advance, scheduling for Monday, who knows, I might wake up Monday morning, I might have something new to talk about, you never know. But if there's one thing that I haven't really addressed, and I think people are getting a little confused about my position on the topic, it's whose fault is it that we're in this mess? Is it MoviePass's fault for having a too good to be true deal? Or is it the customer's fault for gouging and gorging and watching movies they didn't need to see? In some cases, didn't even want to see, but they made it a point to watch them anyway. Whose fault is it? Well, a email to the New York Post, which is what you see here, kind of cleared some things up for me, and I want to discuss it. The email reads, "Dear John, I liked your story about MoviePass. Your article reminded me where I blew it on my MoviePass investment. I was always taught the golden rule and believed that most people were good and also lived by a similar doctrine. In the case of MoviePass, I have lost a good deal of my faith in humanity and have come to the realization that is a much higher percentage of the population who now subscribe to the always take as much as you can get philosophy of life. I'm afraid that today's consumers are a reflection of a society brutalized by capitalism, angry at their position in life and all too happy to stick it to the man. Corporations, to this group of people, are faceless entities out to get them. And they will be damned if they don't get their ounce of blood in any deal that they can make with that corporate beast, signed BV," which I'm personally going to make an educated guess that that's Bob Weiss. He runs a blog where he discusses investing in MoviePass, and it's one that I frequently read quite a bit. And I've heard him make this argument before, and I kind of want to discuss it. Now, I'm not going to read the editor's response. You can read it in the link provided below. And I don't want to focus on his reaction because I think it was actually fairly condescending. What I think BV brings up is not entirely untrue. I mean, we do live in a society that people will take what they can have, what they can get, more than what they need. You see the people starving themselves before they go to the buffet just to see how much they can eat. I like to go to Pizza Press sometimes, and Pizza Press, for those of you who are unaware, is for every personal pizza, you can have as many toppings on the pizza as you want, no restrictions, and it all costs the same. And I was behind a guy, and he was having them put every single topping on. Every single one. And I asked him, politely I think, "So I don't want to say what you're doing is wrong, but you do realize it's going to taste terrible. Like, having every single topping is not good for the pizza. You know, there's different combinations and moderation. Like, why are you putting every single topping on?" And he looked at me and he said, in a very peculiar way, "Because I can." And he said it in a way where I realized he wasn't getting every single topping because it tasted good to him. Maybe it did, but that's not why he was doing it. He was doing it because he could. They advertised $9. You can put every topping on if you want. So he was going to do it, whether he really wanted to or not. It doesn't matter that it would make much more sense to get the pizza with white sauce and nothing but chicken and bacon, because that is a great combination. And it's all you need. Or it doesn't matter that a great combination might be red sauce, ovalini, pepperoni, ham, and bacon. And that's all you need. It's more toppings than what you would normally get for that price. No, he just wanted every single topping because he could. And you did see that with MoviePass. You saw it with MoviePass quite frequently with people. I actually know not one, but two people who watched Black Panther a dozen times with MoviePass. And one of those people actually saw a movie every single day. Every single day. Not necessarily because he was trying to stick to MoviePass, but it's like, hey, I'm just going to go see a movie. I can. It's free now. And I got a little peeved with them, I'm not going to lie. Because you know that people, if there's a couple people like that, there's a ton of people like that. I remember one of my earliest MoviePass videos, I complained about a guy who was on Facebook bragging that he went to see Death Wish of all things, 12 times. Like, why would you do that? Why would you even torture yourself that way? And I called him a jackass. And I still believe that's true. Because you know what? People like that do hurt the service. Like, if what MoviePass says is true, if 12 to 15% of people are doing that, then yeah, that is 12 to 15% of 3 million users costing MoviePass probably about $400 a month. Like, and that's just the heavy users. So yeah, it's true that these hogs, as they call, can ruin things. I remember when internet used to be completely unlimited, and then we started getting caps because you had people who just basically hogged all the bandwidth. They used way too much of it and had to scale back. Now, I'm saying that to voice my displeasure to those people because I think they're wrong. I think a little restraint, see the movies you want to see, and in some cases, like people who write movie reviews and stuff, I actually didn't object to people who use it almost every day seeing different movies. Just, I wanted them to actually want to see it. Even when I was using MoviePass the most, if there was a movie I didn't want to see, my time was way more valuable than that. I've had some pretty traumatic personal experiences involving death where I am definitely of the mindset that, life's too short to be watching movies that are just okay. So I wouldn't see movies that I had no interest in seeing. Some people don't have that philosophy. That's fine. But here's the ultimate question. I'm pointing this out because I do think that these people do influence where we are at right now. But do I blame the customer for abusing the system? No. I squarely blame MoviePass for having an unsustainable system. And MoviePass having an unsustainable system and having rules that allowed it to be abused in the first place. That is who I blame. You know what? My friends saw Black Panther a couple dozen times each between them. You know what? MoviePass should have never had multiple viewings as part of the card. People were checking into MoviePass and then going to Target next door or 7-Eleven and buying something other than the movie ticket. Well, you know what? They should have had the ticket verification from the beginning. They found out how much money they were losing on new releases. Hey, you know what? It's $10. Put a limit on the new releases right away. MoviePass had a lot of opportunities to stop the bleeding a lot sooner. I mean, sure, Black Panther was the wake-up call for getting rid of the multiple movies, and when they saw how well that did and what Avengers was about to do, they put a stop to that. But did they really not see people using it multiple times for Star Wars or Spider-Man Homecoming? Did these movies not get the repeat viewings that told MoviePass, hey, maybe we should scale back on this a little bit? Maybe. When they were using their tracking systems and they saw people in New York using MoviePass just to use the bathroom, or that they would go buy something and then they wouldn't stay, should that maybe not have tipped them off? And they should have thought of the scalping thing earlier. In fact, one of the things they should have done early on was before they even launched the $9.95 price point, they should have gone over like, here's what we're going to do. Is there any way this can be taken advantage of that we should be aware of right now? This was their responsibility, not the consumers. The consumers have every right to use the product the way it was intended to be used. MoviePass advertised a movie a day. Now, do I personally think that is totally unnecessary and totally trying to stick it to the man if you do it? Absolutely. You were told you could do it, though. I can't blame you for that. I can be peeved. I can think it's unnecessary, but at the end of the day, MoviePass gave you that option. And now that they're taking away, now that they're regrouping, do I blame MoviePass for regrouping? No, I would much rather have them stay low for a couple months, figure out what they're doing, and have the service long term than not have it at all. Do I blame customers for feeling gypped, though? No, because again, MoviePass gave them that option. I agree with BV that, yeah, some people will stick it to them, and that's not healthy. There was a story in China that they opened an all-you-can-eat buffet. And the restrictions were a lot looser than most buffets. So what happened? It went out of business in one day because people took advantage of what they were offered. That was wrong. But again, the business had the looser restrictions. And in the last decade or so, there has been like a reevaluation of the phrase, the customer is always right, where stores are starting to realize the customers are not always right, and siding with them all the times actually might be detrimental, including one lady who, I believe she was flying with Southwest. She flew a lot, but every single time she flew, she had a complaint. She wanted to get comped for something, and at one point, the CEO finally wrote her a letter and said he was not going to do that, and when she threatened to take her business elsewhere, he said, okay, go ahead. So, MoviePass, growing up in an age where this was becoming all too common, should have known the service was going to be abused beforehand. And some of the restrictions that they have now, they used to have before the $9.95 price point. Why did they take them away? I don't know. I really don't know. So my position on this is that while I personally believe people who deliberately abuse the system should not be praised and they should be scorned, ultimately this is MoviePass's fault. We are where they are because MoviePass didn't think this through. They didn't slow down the churn. They didn't put the limitations soon enough. They should have thought of this a lot sooner. And you know what? They announced this price point around, August of last year. And granted, there was like a month where people weren't getting their cards, so it was hard to see the abuse firsthand. But within a couple months, we had Star Wars, and we had, I think, a DC movie. We had Wonder Woman, and we had Guardians of the Galaxy, and, we had all these things. Wait, no, I'm sorry. Those Wonder Woman and Guardians of the Galaxy came out before the $9.95 price point. I'm sorry. But like Justice League was one of them. Star Wars was one of them. Jumanji was one of them. They should have seen people abusing it in the way that could get them in trouble. And, I mean, they should not have even had to have gotten to Black Panther to know that that was going to be a problem. So yeah, I will continue reporting on it. I'm still going to tell people, please be patient. I think it's worth waiting out. I still think it's a good deal. People tell me to cancel all the time. I'm not going to do that. I mean, hey, if I can get 3 movies for the price of 1, I will still do it. And it has worked for me. And it seems to be stabilizing for the most part. I do realize that this weekend had another kerboppel with all these movies being blocked out, with only Mission Impossible and Slender Man in most cases being available, or in some cases The Meg, which seems to be an improvement considering they were blocking out new releases. I will say, I also got like push notifications to see Slender Man. I think MoviePass was paid a certain amount of money to push that and take those off, and hey, their new 3-movie plan hasn't taken effect. I think that's what happened, but, I'm going to keep with it. But make no mistake, I do blame MoviePass for where they are. And I think that they should have been taking control over the situation much, much sooner than they did. And they're suffering for it now, and they're suffering rightfully so. And, I mean, hopefully they can pull themselves out of it, hopefully they can figure it out, but they lost a lot of trust, and they have no one but themselves to blame. Even if, again, the abusers were abusers, and I dislike them just as much, MoviePass gave them the leg room to abuse the way they did. So anyway, that's where I'm going to leave this rant. What do you folks think? I would love to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy the videos I make, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly. As always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.